Imagine a quiet morning. Our friend Tom has just received his pay. In our world, money isn't just paper. It's a flock of tiny golden chickens. They are energetic and valuable. If you treat them well, they grow over time. Tom loves his chickens. He feels safe and happy when they are nearby. But Tom has a secret problem. His house is slowly filling up with things. Boxes of gadgets, half-used paints, and clothes he hasn't touched in years. He thinks he is rich because he has all these possessions around him. But the more things he adds, the harder it is for Tom to move around. If we look closely, we see the golden chickens, his money, are looking very tired. They aren't growing anymore. They are struggling to find space in the clutter. Confused, Tom decides to visit the one person who understands money best. The banker sits behind a desk so grand it makes Tom feel smaller than a pencil. The banker doesn't look at the chickens first. He looks at the boxes Tom brought with him. Tom asks, "Why am I working so hard, yet my jar of savings stays empty?" The banker smiles wisely and says, "Because you only saw the price on the box." He explains that most people fall into a trap called the first cost illusion. But today, Tom is going to learn a secret that will change how he sees his home. Everything you own actually costs you money twice. Let's find out why. Tom recently bought a giant, shiny treadmill. He was so proud of this new purchase. To buy it, he had to give 10 of his best golden chickens to the banker. But look at Tom's room now. The treadmill is so big, there is almost no space left for Tom. In the world of economics, space is never free. Every inch of your home has a hidden rent. Tom spends his weekends cleaning it and checking its motor. Ownership takes his time. Then the bills arrive. The treadmill needs electricity and sometimes expensive repairs. Tom realizes he is working more just to pay for a machine he rarely even uses. Now it mostly sits there, holding his jackets and hats. It has become a very expensive closet. Every time he sees it, he feels a tiny weight on his chest. This is the mental cost of clutter. The banker explains, your house is a container. Every item inside is charging you for its stay. The money you spend to store things is money that could have stayed in your jar. Tom looks at his calendar. He sees how many hours he worked just to maintain stuff. A light turns on in Tom's mind. He realizes that having less might actually mean having more. The clutter isn't just taking up his floor. It is taking up his peace and his focus. The banker asks, "Is this object worth the freedom you are giving up to keep it?" Tom looks at his empty hands. He starts to wonder what his life would look like without the weight. He realizes he has been a prisoner to his own things, paying rent for items that don't love him back. This is the second cost, the hidden leak that drains your wealth and your happiness every single day. Tom was looking at a high-quality mattress. He was shocked at how many golden chickens it would cost. But the banker brought out his calculator. He wanted to show Tom a different way to see value. Tom realized he would spend 1/3 of his life on this mattress, sleeping and resting. Over 10 years, that is more than 3,000 nights of deep, peaceful sleep. The banker shared a secret formula. Divide the total price by the number of times you will actually use it. Next, Tom looked at a shiny juice maker. It looked fancy, and the price was much lower than the mattress. Tom imagined himself as a master juice maker, but he had to be honest about his actual habits. The banker looked through his glass. He asked, "How many times will you really use this machine?" Tom checked his calendar. He only made juice twice a year. Suddenly, the machine felt very expensive. Each glass of juice would cost him nearly 100 golden chickens. It was a terrible trade. The banker's scales showed the truth. High price doesn't always mean low value. Tom learned that buying one good thing that lasts for years is better than buying 10 cheap things that break. A quality coat that protects you for 1,000 rainy days is worth every single chicken. This math helps Tom keep his golden chickens safe. He only spends them where they truly serve him. He no longer buys things just because they are cheap. He knows that cheap often means wasteful. He starts to value items that provide him with peace, health, and long-term utility. The banker's wisdom was a gift. Tom was starting to see the world with clear financial eyes.
Now, every time Tom reaches for his wallet, he does a little bit of magic math first.
Tom returned home with a new mission. He looked at his things with a very honest eye. The banker had taught him the replacement test. He picked up an old bread maker. He asked himself, if this disappeared tonight, would I spend my money to buy it again? Tom realized he wouldn't. It was only there because it had been there for years. One by one, he looked at his shoes, his gadgets, and his clothes. If he wouldn't buy it again today, he didn't need to keep it today. The banker's eraser was working. The weight of stuff was beginning to lift. Then a temptation arrived. A shiny ad for a brand new phone popped up. Tom checked his current phone. It made calls, sent messages, and worked perfectly. The banker warned him, never upgrade just because you are bored. Boredom is not a breakdown. As the clutter left, Tom noticed something strange. He felt lighter and calmer. Some items he sold, and he was surprised at how many golden chickens returned to him. He looked at fancy cars and big houses, but he didn't feel the old pull to buy them. He realized his simple car did exactly what it was meant to do. It was enough. Function became his shield. If it works, it stays. If it's just for show, it goes. The hidden rent of stress was disappearing. Tom's mind felt clear for the first time. Space is a luxury that doesn't cost a single chicken. Tom finally had room to breathe. His golden chickens were happy too. They finally had the space and attention they deserved.
Tom arrived at the most important crossroad of his life. He had to choose more stuff or more life. The banker handed him the golden key. It wasn't a key to a bigger house, but a key to his own time. By following the rules, Tom's golden chickens had multiplied. He was finally truly wealthy. He sat at his table and realized that a simple life isn't about having nothing. It's about having exactly what you need. The banker helped him draw a finish line. He told Tom, decide what is enough before you earn more. Most people run an endless race, but Tom chose to stop. He had reached his enough. He watched others struggle under the weight of things they didn't need, bought with money they didn't have. Wealth, Tom realized, isn't about accumulation. It's about optionality, the power to say yes to adventure. Because he spent less, his time was now his own. Every blank day on his calendar was a gift. He no longer worked because he was a prisoner to his bills. He worked because he chose to. His golden chickens were safe and strong. They provided him a shield against the storms of life. And because he had enough, he finally had something to share with others. The banker's work was done. He had turned a stressed shopper into a master of his own destiny. Tom walked into his future, not burdened by bags and boxes, but light as a feather. He leaves us with one question. Do you own your possessions, or do they own you? The math is simple, and the peace is real. It all begins when you decide that you are already enough. Thank you for joining Tom on this journey. May your chickens grow and your burdens be light. This is Tom's story. Now it's time to start writing yours. Goodbye for now.